Seth Rollins took some more shots at Roman Reigns this week, so we'll dive into that. We'll also check out the latest with CM Punk, Lola Vice, and more. Starting things off with Lola Vice. We last discussed Lola Vice after she won the NXT Breakout Tournament. Lola was a pretty hype signing for WWE, considering her MMA and combat background and history. And just a little over a year after signing, she has officially arrived and is making an impact in WWE. Considering the fact that Lola Vice is in possession of the breakout contract, it's clear that there is some faith behind her and big things are planned there, we're to assume. Lola Vice's contract gives her an NXT women's title match whenever she so pleases. But Lola said something this week that has fans wondering if it's possible for her to go in another direction. Lola Vice took to Twitter to tease that she may cash in her contract on one of the main roster WWE Women's World titles. Now, it's a bit unclear if Lola Vice could actually do that. The contract sort of implies as being redeemable just for the NXT Women's title. But if Lola herself is verbally saying and teasing the idea of cashing in on the WWE Women's title or the Women's World title, it's an idea we gotta entertain and give attention to. If Lola was able to use her contract on the main roster titles, it'll easily be a shocking surprise because no one really is expecting that. It's an NXT 1 contract, so that's where everyone would expect it to be used. So no matter if Lola was to use it on Raw or SmackDown, it'll be a big surprise to everyone either way. Despite Lola hinting at that possibility, it does seem a bit unrealistic considering everything that's being built around both main roster women's titles. Rhea Ripley still appears to be on pace for holding on to her WWE Women's World title all the way until WrestleMania 40 against what's rumored to be Becky Lynch, while Io Sky in the WWE Women's title is being built around Bayley and Damage Control. So it seems very unlikely for Lola Vice to get in the way of what's being developed there. But what definitely is possible is Lola Vice using her contract in NXT. The scene around the NXT Women's title is pretty chaotic and really is anyone's game. Lyra is the champion, now Blair Davenport is coming after her, but Cora Jade and Nikita Lyons also recently returned. And you obviously have Lola Vice with her breakout contract, so the NXT Women's title could realistically go to any of these women. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that scene. Seth Rollins hasn't been scared to voice his thoughts and opinions on just about anyone. We're obviously hearing all the recent things he said about CM Punk, but Roman Reigns has also been a longtime target of Seth's words. Seth Rollins was recently interviewed by the SI Media podcast, and they asked him in a conversation of who's going to dethrone Roman Reigns. It's a hot topic amongst the roster. Seth Rollins had this to say in response to that question, quote, "To be honest, as of late, because he's been so absent, I don't think it's been a topic of conversation amongst fans, let alone the locker room. I think it's one of those things where it's an opportunity, but it's such a glass ceiling opportunity. It feels like one of those things where it may never happen. What's the point in wasting your time because the glass ceiling is so obvious and so thick? Which is nice on my end with the World Heavyweight Championship. I feel like there's much more of a real conversation to be had about who is the guy who is going to be able to dethrone me, if that's ever the case. Because I'm available, I'm around, I'm visible, and I put myself out there and take risks that Roman isn't really taking at the moment. Obviously, when he shows back up, whenever that may be, I think he has some SmackDowns coming up in the next month. Maybe that will reignite the conversation, especially moving into WrestleMania season, where we can assume that he'll be at the show. Safe to assume, I think. Once he shows up a little bit more, that conversation might reignite a little bit. But that's more of a fan base and audience thing. Just a who's going to do it. From a locker room perspective, It's one of those things where Roman is off on his own, in his own world, doing his own thing. Take a little rowboat out of the island of relevancy, check the weather and leave. For us, it's not as big of a thing. It doesn't seem prominent to everyone." End quote. And Seth Rollins did have some good points there, especially when it comes to the conversation of dethroning. With Roman Reigns, it never really feels like this title reign is truly at danger of ending. The only time it truly did feel like it was threatened was at WrestleMania 39 with Cody Rhodes. But for every other single title defense that he's had during the rest of 2023 and after that, there really wasn't any suspense there in any of those title matches. Everyone knew Roman would easily retain. And that's the case until WrestleMania 40, where his title reign will feel at danger once again. But when it comes to Seth Rollins and his title reign, there is more suspense and conversation there because Seth's title reign could legitimately end at any second, it feels like. It could be from a cash-in from Damian Priest or one of his many challengers. But Seth's title reign does feel like it's more at risk and danger on a more consistent basis than Roman's. That's a fact. A lot of fans think that Seth constantly takes shots at Roman Reigns, and his part-time schedule is a way to keep some conversation alive there for another match there between Roman and Seth. We got to see Roman and Seth meet each other at the end of 2022 Royal Rumble, but the conclusion of that feud felt like a cliffhanger and wasn't really that satisfying. So fans most definitely want to see Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns meet again down the line, and hopefully their paths do cross again. Seth Rollins appears to be CM Punk's biggest target that he'll come after in early 2024, but CM Punk didn't shy away from the idea of coming after Roman Reigns and teasing that feud either. Like we saw and previously lightly touched on, CM Punk made it known to Roman Reigns that Paul Heyman was his original Wiseman, long before Roman Reigns came along. And we also had that big moment of CM Punk thinking about knocking on the Bloodline's door, but eventually deciding not to. So the teases and seeds are already planted there for Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. We didn't get to see CM Punk and Paul Heyman interact on that edition of SmackDown, and we'll likely not see them on the same brand together after Punk signs to Raw. But eventually, one day down the line, we'll see Punk and Heyman interact. A lot of fans were wondering if we could see a reunion between Punk and Heyman, but the closest thing we got to that was Punk nearly knocking on the door. So it was a nice little tease, and obviously we'll see that payoff and interaction possibly sometime in 2024. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns will be a lot of fun because of pretty much everything, from the promos and words being exchanged to the dynamic between CM Punk and Paul Heyman. Everything will make it a really interesting story and feud. Could Paul Heyman even consider leaving Roman Reigns' side for CM Punk? Heyman is loyal to Roman, but when Brock Lesnar first returned, we saw Heyman acting sneaky and basically trying to stay on both Roman and Brock's good sides until it all blew up in his face eventually. So it'll be interesting to see if he's learned his lesson or if he'll make a similar mistake again and align himself back with CM Punk. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.